Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 5:30 News on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Jay Cohn.
And I'm Jeanelle Slade. Democrat Jon Tester will return to Washington for a third term in the U.S. Senate.
After trailing for much of the evening and this morning, Tester emerged victorious in Montana's Senate showdown with Matt Rosendale.
Even at this late hour, not all the vote totals are in, but the outcome is decided. Senator Tester was vying for his third term, while State Auditor Matt Rosendale was riding on the coattails of some of the highest names in the GOP. But late this morning, Senator Tester emerged with a slim 11,000 vote lead to claim victory.
Our chief political reporter Mike Dennison reports now from Great Falls, where the Tester campaign spent a restless night.
Just before 11 a.m. on Wednesday, Senator Jon Tester appeared before a rowdy crowd of exhausted supporters and told them the good news.
Look, we did it.
The Associated Press had just called the race in Tester's favor, giving him a hard-fought victory over Republican Matt Rosendale and Libertarian Rick Breckenridge. Just like in his two previous victories in 2006 and 2012, it wasn't called until the day after Election Day, and he won with less than 50% of the vote, about 49.6% to be precise, over Rosendale's 47.5%, a 10,000 vote margin by late Wednesday. Rosendale took the lead briefly early Wednesday morning, but a rash of late counted votes from Democratic strongholds like Missoula and Bozeman put Tester over the top. In comments Wednesday, Tester said it was a tough race, but that now it's time to tone down the political differences.
We need to get some things done in Washington, D.C. We need to work together. We need to put aside the political pettiness and work together to get things done. And I will tell you why. Because if I has traversed this state, north, south, east, and west, the people I've talked to, the biggest issue they bring up is, why can't you guys work together? Well, we can, and we will. And it will happen because the American people are demanding it.
Tester said tops on his agenda are fixing problems with health care, rural broadband access, and care for veterans. He also noted that President Trump came here 4 times to campaign against him, but that he'd like the president to come back again and take a good look at the problems facing the state that need to be fixed.
As I walk around, you know, there's Democrats, there's Republicans, Libertarians. We agree on a heck of a lot more than we disagree on. So find the areas you agree on and work on them.
This race had a lot of firsts for Montana, from 4 presidential visits to $60 million in campaign spending. But in the end, Tester's victory looked a lot like his first 2, eking out a victory with a great on-the-ground effort, some last-day voting, and the strength of his own personality. Reporting from Great Falls, Mike Dennison, MTN News.
Thanks, Mike.
Senator Tester will, though, remain in the Democratic minority in the Senate. Republicans actually increased their majority in the Senate on Tuesday.
And today, Matt Rosendale conceded to Senator Tester. He did not go on camera, but MTN's Jonathan Ambarian is in Helena with a statement from the state auditor.
We're here at the Delta Colonial Hotel in Helena, where Matt Rosendale had his campaign headquarters last night. We haven't heard directly from the state insurance commissioner today, but just after 11:30 this morning, we did receive a statement from his campaign in which he confirmed he was conceding the race to Senator Jon Tester. He said he had spoken to Senator Tester, that he congratulated him and wished him well. He also thanked his family and all of his supporters and volunteers that have worked on his campaign. And he said that despite the loss, his work for the people of Montana isn't done. He said he's going to continue to advocate for lower health care costs and more health care options in his position as state auditor. In Helena, Jonathan Ambarian, MTN News.
Thank you, Jonathan. In the U.S. House race, Montana did field its incumbent Greg Gianforte for another term. The congressman faced off against Kathleen Williams Tuesday. Williams had an early lead but lost it late in the night. And tonight, Gianforte has a 27,000 vote lead as he emerged victorious yet this morning.
Representative Greg Gianforte's campaign released a statement on its victory this morning. Congressman Gianforte thanked voters for their continued confidence and renewed his commitment with working with President Trump. He said, quote, "I'll continue putting Montana first and working with President Trump to keep our economy thriving, make our communities safer, keep our public lands in public hands, and protect our Montana way of life."
Kathleen Williams also sent a statement to her supporters thanking them for their hard work and acknowledging that her effort did come up a bit short. She also said she called Congressman Gianforte to congratulate him.
Montana's lone seat in the U.S. House will stay in Republican hands for another 2 years, extending the GOP's stronghold on the seat to a quarter of a century. Now, Jay, you spoke to our two political analysts today.
I did, Jeanelle. The fact that Montana's congressional seat will remain in Republican hands, something that sticks in the craw of the state Democratic Party, a fact not lost on Democratic political consultant Brandon Demers. We asked both Demers and his Republican counterpart Jake Eaton for their election night takeaways.
It's really eluded the Democratic candidates in recent cycles, going back quite a ways now. But Kathleen came very close. The Williams campaign, they ran an excellent operation. I think they should hold their heads high and be very proud of a solid campaign, well run, and I think she's probably got a bright future in Montana politics.
Well, I think overall it was a good night for Republicans, but really I think the moral of the story in Montana was it was a good night to be an incumbent of any party, and incumbents fared very well on both sides of the aisle in Montana this election, which is kind of unusual given the climate that we're in right now.
Montana's two ballot initiatives both went down to defeat also last night. For
Initiative 185, the contentious tobacco tax measure, more than $20 million was poured into this campaign from both sides. The pre-election poll showed a narrow sliver of support for the initiative. Many in the healthcare field praised it. Opponents, though, worried it wouldn't pay for itself and other areas of the state would actually suffer. In the end, the votes just did not add up to a win for Initiative 185.
And Initiative 186 buried even deeper with no votes. The initiative would have put restrictions on future mines across Montana unless reclamation plans met specific requirements to protect waterways.
MSU Billings political scientist Dr. Jason Adkins told us both of the ballot measure results surprised him.
It's the initiatives for me. I mean, polling going in showed both 185 and 186 barely passing. We could see they went down by a significant margin.
Montana voters did pass two legislative referendums on Tuesday's ballot. LR 128, the 6 mil levy for the Montana University system, and LR 129 that prohibits ballot collection by third parties. Both passed handily with 62% and 63% of the vote respectively.
The race for a new state district judge in Yellowstone County could be headed for a recount. Billings lawyer Julie Pierce holds a thin 59-vote lead over former federal attorney Ashley Harada for Department 8 of the 13th District Court. Now, if a candidate is behind by less than 1/4%, they can request an automatic recount if the margin is more than 1/4%, but less than 0.5%. The trailing candidate can request a recount at their own cost. At this point, it appears this race would qualify for a recount.
Elsewhere in Bighorn County, officials there simply had a loss today after voters again turned down a request to expand the county jail.
57% of voters said no to a $12.3 million expansion, while 43% of voters said yes. Back in the fall, county commissioners and the sheriff's department together launched an effort to ask voters to authorize the county to borrow from existing funds for the expansion, a measure that would not increase taxes. That expansion would have provided 96 new beds.
Now, the current Bighorn County Jail was built in 1979, but officials say it is overcrowded, outdated with both heating and cooling issues. Commissioners were hoping voters would give them the authority to borrow $7 million and use another $5 million in savings. But the measure to expand the jail failed, as did one back in 2016.
Turning to weather, Bob, you said it would happen, and it did. It looks and feels like winter outside.
Yeah, Billings police just tweeted out that they are now in their slick streets policy. That means if you get into a bumper stuff, a wreck or something like that, if it's not too serious, you go ahead and just take the names down and insurance companies and all that. But let me show you what it looks like outside. Oh my goodness, yeah. We've got a lot of snow out there and the streets are very slow. You got someone coming home tonight, they're stuck in this traffic jam in downtown Billings, so they're going to be a little delayed because of all the slick streets in the region. So let me show you what's happening out here right now. Doppler radar shows you the snow continues to travel from Billings into Hardin. We've been told that the streets are very icy on Interstate 90 and 94 east of Billings because of obviously the snow falling in that area. And let me show you what else is happening. We still have a winter weather advisory till 11 o'clock tonight for the area highlighted in purple. 1 to 2 inches of snow, but just very icy roads for our evening drive home tonight. It is very, very icy out there, folks. We'll have the how much snow we got forecast and all that coming up in a few more minutes.
All right, thanks, Bob.
Still ahead on tonight's 5:30 News, the Billings Police Department now embracing the digital age. We'll fill you in on that coming up.
And in sports, Scott shows us which local volleyball team enters tomorrow's state tournament as the hottest in Montana.
You're watching MTN News with Jay Cohn and Jeanelle Slade. Storm Tracker weather with Bob McGuire. And sports with Scott Green. This is the 530 News on Q2, Montana's news leader.